everybody, welcome to the Smell Podcast. I'm your host, Katie Boateng. Today, I felt like talking about dogs. So this episode, we're going to talk about canines and their powerful senses of smell. All right, let's get started. Here's our story. This article is titled, Can Dogs Detect Cancer? And it was written for Medical News Today by Joanna Cavaco Silva. The article was recently published on November 8th, 2018. Here's part of the story. Dogs have a very sensitive sense of smell. This can be useful in the medical world as dogs are able to sniff out certain diseases, including cancer. Humans have put dogs' remarkable sense of smell to use by training them to sniff out explosives and narcotics. Their powerful noses can also detect viruses, bacteria, and signs of cancer in a person's body or bodily fluids. In this article, we look at the evidence behind dogs' ability to smell and identify different types of cancer and how medical professionals can use dogs to help diagnose the condition. Okay, so the article goes on from there to discuss how dogs are able to smell cancer, the types of cancers that they're able to detect, and how they're currently being utilized for cancer research. I didn't read you the entire article so that you can go and find it online, and as always, I'll make sure to include the link to the article in the episode description. It's very interesting and a promising field of research, and dogs are just adorable. So next up, now that we know dogs are being trained to search for cancers by using their sense of smell, the next article that I wanted to share with you all is titled, Anchorage Dogs Trained to Sniff Out Breast Cancer, and it was written for news channel KTVA, The Voice of Alaska, by Lauren Maxwell. The article was published on October 25th, 2018. Here's part of the story about these Alaskan dogs. An Anchorage study is trying to prove that dogs can be trained to sniff out breast cancer and that their noses may be as accurate as a mammogram. Dr. Donna Chester, the local OB/GYN sponsoring the study, said, "The idea is not to replace mammograms, but to offer some women a screening alternative to finding cancer early on. What we are trying to do is bridge the gap in medicine," she said. "There are women who will go and get their mammograms, and there's a whole other subset that either won't, can't, or don't go get their mammograms." There's more to this story, specifically how the dogs are able to be trained to smell for cancer, which you can find online. I'll make sure to include the link to the article in the episode description. There are also 2 videos that go along with this article, so make sure you visit the link to see the dogs in action. They're very cute, but also doing something really useful. You'll also get to see how they're trained if you go and watch the videos. If it works out that dogs are accurate predictors of cancer, would you be more or less comfortable getting tested by a dog than by getting a mammogram using a machine? For myself, I think being smelled by a dog would be more comfortable. I haven't ever had to have a mammogram, but from what I know about it and what I've seen, it doesn't look very pleasant for the women who are being tested. So I think dogs would be a nice alternative. Let me know what you thought about today's episode. What topics would you like to see covered in the future? Do you know anyone with anosmia, including yourself, who would want to be on the podcast? If so, please get in touch. This is the week. The Identifying Treatments for Taste and Smell Disorders Conference is taking place this Wednesday and Thursday in Philadelphia. You can find additional information about the conference online at www.ittsd2018.org. I'll be attending the conference Thursday only, and also going to the special dinner, Double Tasty and a Show, that's going to be that same Thursday evening. I've recently started listening to Gastropod by co-hosts Nicola Twilley and Cynthia Graber, because they are going to be performing at that dinner, and I wanted to learn more about them. The podcast is excellent. It looks at food through the lenses of science and history. I listened to their episodes about how carrots became orange and why we love eggs so much. If you haven't heard of them before, go check out their podcast because it's really good. I hope that I can meet some of you other attendees at the conference this week. Please make sure to introduce yourself if you see me, and I'll make sure that I do the same. I haven't had the chance to meet a fellow anosmic in person, and I'm really happy that I get to do that this week. If you have a story that you'd like to share, or if you'd like to be interviewed for the podcast, as always, please email me at thesmellpodcast@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at thesmellpodcast. Until next time, have a great day.